From ashes to unstoppable. They threw you into hell, thinking you would break. They watched the fire close in around you and whispered to each other, "This is where it ends." They mistook your silence for surrender. They mistook your tears for weakness. But what they never understood, what they could never understand, is this: fire does not destroy everything. Some things, some souls, are forged inside it. Right now, I want you to see yourself standing there, ash on your skin, smoke in your lungs, the ground beneath you still warm from everything that burned away. Look around. Everything they used to define you is gone. Your titles, your labels, their approval, their expectations, and they smile because they think you are finished. But listen closely. Can you hear it? Beneath the crackle of dying flames, beneath the echo of laughter fading into the dark, there is a heartbeat, your heartbeat, still steady, still defiant. This is where your story truly begins. They expected you to fall apart. They expected you to crawl back, begging for mercy, begging for validation, begging to be let back into a world that never truly accepted you. They expected you to doubt yourself the way they doubted you, to hate yourself the way they quietly wanted you to. They thought pressure would crush you. They thought betrayal would poison you. They thought loss would erase you. And maybe, for a moment, it almost did. You remember those nights, when the ceiling stared back at you and sleep refused to come, when your mind replayed every word they said, every door they closed, every time they chose themselves over you. You remember asking the same question again and again. Why me? What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? That was the expectation, that you would stay there, curled up in your own doubts, shrinking, apologizing for existing. But reality had other plans, because while they were busy watching for your collapse, you were learning how to breathe in the smoke, how to stand in the heat, how to survive when comfort was stripped away. You didn't rise loudly at first. No applause, no witnesses, just quiet determination built in the shadows, and that terrified them more than your failure ever could. The first transformation didn't feel powerful, it felt lonely. You learned what it meant to walk alone, not because you wanted to, but because everyone who claimed they'd stay vanished when things got heavy. You learned that silence can be a teacher, that pain can sharpen you if you let it. In the darkness, you met yourself without distractions, no masks, no performance, no pretending, and it was uncomfortable, because for the first time you had to confront your own reflection without their opinions shaping it. You had to ask hard questions. Who are you when no one is watching? Who are you when there's nothing left to prove? Who are you when the applause stops? You discovered something dangerous in those moments, something powerful. You discovered that you were still standing, bruised but standing, tired but standing, scarred but standing. Every tear became fuel, every sleepless night became training. Every time they underestimated you, something inside you hardened, not with bitterness, but with clarity. You stopped asking, "Why me?" and started asking, "What now?" The fire didn't burn you away. It burned away what was never you to begin with. And in the ashes, you began to rise. That's when they noticed something was wrong. You weren't chasing them anymore. You weren't explaining yourself. You weren't begging to be understood. You were quieter, but not broken. Calmer, but not defeated. Focused in a way that made people uneasy. They expected rage. They expected revenge. They expected you to come back screaming. Instead, you came back centered, and that confused them, because when someone stops reacting, stops performing, stops proving, that's when the power shifts. They started watching you differently, whispering again, but this time with uncertainty, with envy, with fear disguised as indifference. Why aren't they angry? Why aren't they trying to get even? Why do they look so unbothered? Did they really think you would stay broken? Did they think the story ended where they left you? They forgot something important. You were never weak. You were just too busy believing in them. And then came the second transformation. This one wasn't quiet. This one was deliberate. You began to build, not for revenge, not for applause, but for yourself. You set boundaries like walls of stone. You learned to say no without explanation. You learned that access to you is a privilege, not a right. You stopped pouring into empty cups, stopped shrinking to make others comfortable, stopped lighting yourself on fire to keep people warm. Every step forward felt like reclaiming stolen ground. Every small win felt like oxygen after years underwater. You could feel it, the shift in your posture, in your voice, in your presence. You walked differently now, not rushed, not desperate, anchored. They felt it too. Your growth exposed their stagnation. Your peace highlighted their chaos. Your discipline reminded them of the dreams they abandoned. And suddenly, you weren't invisible anymore. Here's the truth they'll never admit out loud. Your strength makes them uncomfortable because you didn't become cruel. You didn't become cold. You became clear. You learned that the greatest revenge is not destruction. It's transcendence. While they replay the past, you build the future. While they talk, you move. While they wait for your downfall, you rise again, stronger, calmer, unstoppable. You no longer need to announce your power. It speaks when you enter a room, in your stillness, in your restraint, in your refusal to explain your worth. You became a storm that doesn't scream, a fire that doesn't spread. It glows, and they can feel it. Every time they see you thriving without them. Every time they realize you didn't lose yourself, you found yourself. Now we reach the moment they feared most. The moment you realize you don't need their validation. You never did. You stand fully formed now. Not perfect, but whole. Not fearless, but brave. You look back at the ashes and you don't feel anger. You feel gratitude. Because without the fire, you would have stayed small. Without the betrayal, you would have stayed blind. Without the loss, you would have never met the strongest version of yourself. They are still there, stuck in old patterns, replaying old victories, living in yesterday. But you are moving forward, crowned by resilience, armored by experience, powered by purpose. You are no longer reacting to life. You are commanding it. And here, in this final moment, I want you to feel it. The calm, the certainty, the unshakable knowing that whatever comes next, you can handle it. You are not who you used to be, and you will never go back. From ashes, you didn't just rise, you became unstoppable. So walk forward, without apology, without fear, without looking back. Let them watch, let them wonder, let them regret. You have a life to live, a legacy to build, a fire inside you that will never go out. And this time, nothing can stop you.